In this daily drop, I'm going to give you a checklist of things that I think are essential to bring and also consider when you're going to a trade show like NAB, especially if it's your first time. So let's go. All right, everybody, here we are with the last episode of the week, episode 170. And on this day, I will be traveling Friday, April 12th to NAB 2024. So what I wanted to do, because I think this is my 21st NAB, is talk to you about some things I think you should be thinking about bringing and also thinking about when you're attending a show like NAB. And hopefully some of these tips will be useful to you, especially if it's your first time going to the show or a trade show like NAB. Now, the first thing I do want to mention is that NAB is in Las Vegas, which you know. It is a desert, which you know, but the first time and even the second and maybe third time that I went there, it was a bit much for me in terms of the climate and then also just being in a huge convention center for day after day after day. So here's my kind of quick list of things that I think are essential and that are going to be really important to you. Number one on the list is going to be the shoes, okay? It's got to be one of the most important things. You are going to be on your feet for not just the trade show hours, but it's sort of like two shows in one. You've got the actual convention show hours where you're on the floor walking endlessly through Central Hall, South Hall, West Hall, North Hall, wherever it's going to be. You're all over the place, and you are going to be on your feet most of that time. And some of those booths don't have low pile commercial carpet. They have cushy carpet, and you're constantly adjusting yourself. So your feet are going to hurt, especially if you don't bring comfortable shoes. Now, comfortable shoes are different for different people. I happen to have very flat feet, so I know the shoes that I need to wear so that I can go for the day into the evening. And that's the second part of this, which is at the end of the day, you're usually not at the end of your day. The show's over, you're going back to your hotel or you have a quick break, and then you're resetting and you're going to some industry event, some party or some other thing that a company or companies have put together, a mixer, and now you're going to be on your feet again. So comfortable shoes, but here's the power tip right here. Bring lots and lots of extra socks with you. In fact, if there's only one thing that I get to do between that afternoon and evening session, it's change my socks, and you kind of feel like a different person. If you can get back to your hotel, take a shower, change, all that, great. But socks, trust me, lifesaver. All right. Number two on the list, probably just as important, if not more important, is this right here, which is hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate. Lots and lots and lots of water. Okay, yes, you're going to be drinking coffee. You might have your power drinks and all that. This is contrary to even what I believe with whiskey, Scotch whiskey especially. This is the real water, right? They call Scotch sometimes God's water. This thing right here, that's what's going to keep you going, and just keep drinking. The first time I went to NAB, I remember I was walking around and I started to get lightheaded, and I really, really needed to sit down. And it was just a combination of lots of things, but it became too overwhelming for me. The stagnant air in the building, not drinking at all. And then if you've ever been there, and most of us have, if you get to that point where you don't want to drink, then you know you're in trouble. So if you get to that point, just drink small sips a little at a time and then start to drink larger quantities. But the best advice I can give you is just hydrate throughout the entire day, all of the time. And then if you're going out at night and you are somebody who drinks alcohol, drink even more. Electrolytes are the other thing tied into that. I usually travel with that. You know, you're going to do, as they say, but I would be drinking a lot of water and taking electrolytes, and, B complex can't hurt either if you are drinking. All right, so that's number 2 on the list. Number 3 on the list is not a product, but it's take breaks. There's so much to see, and there's an app that you can download and you can map out where you're going to be. Try not to bounce from hall to hall to hall. Try to stay in one place. I have a friend, a very close friend. You probably know who he is, Caleb Pike from DSLR Video Shooter, also does camera and flask with me. There's a system of going from, down one aisle and another, and you can really see the show that way. And then you can make notes if there's things after day 1 that you want to come back to, but just come up with a little bit of a plan and an idea. It's very easy to be scattered at the show, especially because there are certain scheduled things. There might be a speaker at a booth that you want to see. Well, try to think about what other companies are around there, so before and after that speech, you can actually go ahead and see some of the other things in that area. All right, so there you go. Also know that on the first day of the show, which happens to be Sunday for NAB, that once the show opens, those booths are going to be deep with people, especially with the brand new products that have been announced. It might be a good idea to go and check out some of the other companies in the morning into afternoon of the first day, and then start to hit those bigger companies, those bigger announcement products and things like that. All right, next thing is important and really is related to being out in the desert. And this really killed me the first few years at NAB until I came up with, my sort of kit, my survival kit for the desert. Look at me. I'm a pasty Brit, a limey Brit, and I need to take care of myself when I'm out in the desert. And, in the winter, your hands start to crack and get dry. Well, you're in a desert, a similar thing's going to happen. Hand cream is not a bad thing to have with you when you are in the desert. Number 2, you're going to find that because of that dry air, that it's just going to feel dry in the nostrils and stuff. So get yourself either a saline spray or something like this, a saline type gel that you can use. It will be a lifesaver for certain people. Some people have no problem with it. Their bodies are kind of made for that environment. Mine is not. This is important. Probably the most important thing for me when I'm out in the desert and it's hot and you're in the Vegas area is anti-chafing product. Trust me, you're walking around that convention center, you go outside, you're walking up and down the strip, it's dry, it's hot, it's not a good combination. You need something. It could be a cream, it could be this, which is more like a deodorant stick. You know where this is going to go, right? This is the stuff that's going to make sure that you can actually survive. I don't want to deal with talcum powder and all of that stuff. So this is a much, much better type of product. This is called Body Glide. I'll put a link to it. It works really well. You can pick it up when you're in Vegas. You just go on the strip if you're staying there. There's CVS, there's Walgreens, I think, or Rite Aid, and those places will have all of those products and what you need. That's kind of the core of what it is, but it's just having a basic plan and having some things with you that are just going to make sure that you are comfortable. Don't rush the show. Take your time. It's supposed to be fun. And you're going to bump into people and have conversations, and you're going to meet new people. And that's the beauty of a show like NAB. You're going to see amazing products. And if you've been to the show many times, you probably know about all of this stuff. But I thought it would be worth an episode before I head on out to the show and talk about that stuff. Don't forget to, and I'll see you on the next episode of The Daily Drop.